Hi, I'm David Mullinex, and I'm going to be demonstrating standard radiography procedures as well as safety. So you can see I have my lead shield, lead thyroid shield, lead apron, excuse me, and I have my dosimetry bed. I'm going to go ahead and put that on. And I have lead gloves. All of these should be worn at all times when taking radiographs. There's really not an excuse at any point to not wear these. So, alright, I'm going to show some positioning aids that we have. Obviously, for a lot of radiographs, it's not necessary to have certain positioning aids, but sometimes you do need them. Alright, so the first one I'm going to show you is a trough. So the way this works is the patient goes in like this, and that way we can send the beam through the ventral region and out the dorsal region of the animal to create AVD. It can also be used in other ways, but mainly for VDs. Now, we have different sizes of these. We use these on ferrets and guinea pigs regularly. We have one in between that size for cats as well as for small dogs. Another object that you can use, we have several pairs of gloves here, and you can use these to hold down certain limbs. You can use tie gauze in certain ways. As you can see, to just kind of pull back limbs in ways that you wouldn't have to use your hands, and you can get them away from the beam. Okay, so here at Riverview we use digital radiography. We're not using film. So as far as the cassette sizes and where the film is stored, we do have this room that is no longer in use. But this is where, 15, 20 years ago we did use film. And this is where we stored them, as well as actually produce the film itself. That's where everything is stored. We don't use it at all, but we still have it. Alright, calipers. So this is a set of calipers, and it gives us inches as well as centimeters. And the way you use this is you put it on the table, and say if I was taking an abdominal radiograph, I would look here and get my measurement, and I would take that to my technique chart, and I would be able to pick the optimum level of KVP and MAS to use. For pelvic, it would be something like this, and I would get a different measurement, and I would look at a different chart specific to the pelvis, and I could get my KVP and MAS that way. All of these charts should be made and hanging, in the radiology unit already. We're lucky enough that our digital system does it for us. So we just set it appropriately. Alright, so to properly collimate the primary beam, it's kind of hard to see here, but we do have a beam, and you adjust the length with this and the width like this. Now, the goal here is to get only what you want to see in the radiograph, nothing extra, and that's going to give you the clearest image, the best contrast, and it's going to reduce scatter radiation. Let's see. Okay, once again, since we're using digital, this is something that we don't do here, because the machine has little icons that we put on after we take the radiograph to kind of tell which side was down. We actually just took this radiograph, so I'm going to place the marker here to represent the fact that it is a right lateral recumbency. Now, there used to be, the way this was done is in the very edge of the collimation field, you would put a R in this case to represent right lateral or concave. And you would do that respectively for whatever side you were looking at, whatever side was down. Okay. So once again, we used to develop film in here. That was before I was here. To develop film in here, we actually just go here. We make sure the image is saved. We end it, and then we can send it to the cloud. And if you put a CD-ROM or a DVD-R in here, you can actually write it to a disk. And you just send that either to the cloud or the disk. You can do both. Or you can send it directly to an email from here. Once it's sent to the cloud, it can be pulled up on any computer that has access through our password and username. And that's equivalent to our digital printing. Okay, so we talked about marking, and obviously once all of this is done, the radiograph has been taken. We have a good field of view. We're looking at what we want to see. It's labeled properly. We would then get a veterinarian to come take a look and review the radiograph. So the way we would log these in our hospital records, we would take a look at the radiograph itself. Obviously we would charge for the radiograph, and we would include something in the medical record about how we took the radiograph, if any anesthesia was used. Obviously it would be in the record of the patient who was getting a radiograph taken, and then how it was interpreted by the veterinarian. And if it was something that warranted medical attention, obviously therefore that would be represented in the medical record itself as well. Okay, and then the last thing, I do have a copy of my dosimetry report, and I will turn that in. So that's really about it. Just always wear your safety gear, and then depending on what machine you use, it's going to be different for each clinic. But it's good to know, where everything started and how privileged we are here.